Gotta hurry up and do this 5 minutes of power. It is late, but it's still great because God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. I want to give a testimony, but I ain't gonna be able to do that right quick because God has done just exceedingly abundantly above all I can even ask to think. But it's according to the power that worketh off inside of me. And the power that I'm striving on right now as I continue to keep on bringing you these 5 minutes of power is positive. Positivity. I want to be a positive person. I want to refrain and just take all my past that was behind me and just throw it away and just burn it up and allow the Lord to cast it into the sea of forgetfulness where it's forgotten, where I don't have to worry about it no more. Because the person that I'm striving to be right now is not for nobody, but for me. To be who God created me to be. And I think God has created us as being spiritual beings. And because we're a spiritual being, we house off inside this earthly vessel. But this is a treasure that we have that God has given us. And that treasure is Him. He has placed His Spirit inside of us. And it's up to us to be able to seek Him. Because He said we are blessed to believe in Him and haven't seen Him. That is a blessing. But then He say, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of things that are not seen. Now, without faith, it is impossible to please God. Because when we come to Him, we must believe that He is God and He is a rewarder for us when we start diligently seek Him. When we start saying, God, you know what? I want to be more like You. That's a story. Because when we say we want to be more like God, God can tell us, well, I tell you what, go die for them. Okay, well, God, not that one. Time out. Put the T up. Let's try another one. God, I want to be more like You, God. Okay, well, if that's the point, then I want You to go over there and allow them to beat you. Oh, well, okay, allow them to beat me. Beat me for what? For the truth? For the truth? Yeah. They killed Jesus for the truth because He was the way, the truth, and the light. Now, the amazing thing about it is God's not going to ask you to do all of that. Only thing that He asked in us and the righteous requirement that He's requiring of us is to be the best us that we can be. To be more like Him, to be more Christ-like, to walk in the Spirit that we won't fulfill the lust of the flesh. That is all He's requiring of us. He's requiring of us to study to show ourselves approved unto Him, a workman that need not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. What He is requiring of us is to walk by faith and not by sight. What He is requiring of us is seek first the kingdom of heaven and His righteousness, and everything else is going to be added unto us. He's not asking us to die. He's not asking us to take a bullet for nobody. But what He's asking us to do is to be able to pray for one another, that we will be able to bear the infirmities of the weak. God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So His requirements for us is to know Him, to stay connected, because we can't produce no fruit unless we connected to the vine. So God is everywhere. He's all seeing, He's all knowing, He's omnipresent. And there's nothing that we can do to get away from Him. We can go to hell and He'll be there. We can go all the way to Mount St. Everest and He'll be there. We can turn around and try to hide off inside of Uncle Lulu's basement and He'll be there. There's nowhere that you can go that you can get away from God. So because He's everywhere, why are we continue to keep on doing these things in such a way that we think that we're hidden and we're hiding and we're right in the presence of God? And we are continuing to have no remorse about the things that we're doing. And we're getting closer and closer. But, we've been hearing that so long. Because sin don't have no immediate consequence for it right now. We're going to continue to keep on doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until we're satisfied. Or doing it to death. Whatever it is. Do it till you're satisfied. That is a statement that we have to reverse the curse. And say, if I walk in the Spirit, I will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Because the flesh and the Spirit wars with each other. And these two are contrary to one another. That when I want to do right, evil is always present. So when I want to strive for righteousness, I got to have the understanding as being wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove, that the enemy is going to come in like a flood. But the Spirit of the Lord is going to raise up a standard up against him. This has been my 5 minutes of power. But I want you to know one thing about it. You are God's property. And God has bought you with a price. So because he has done that, it's up to us to be able to be willing and obedient, and then we'll eat the good of the land. God bless you. It's been my 5 minutes.